It's the hardcore legend Mick Foley, and you are listening to Bell to Bell with Bobby Blaze.
Make sure to like the video, subscribe to the channel, and turn on the notification bell so you never miss an update.
And yet, after your first year in professional wrestling and that severe auto accident that you had, the doctor said you would never walk again, far less ever wrestle.
That's right, Gordon. But I've been proving people wrong since I've been in wrestling. I have proved everyone wrong with the world's title. The only man in the history of wrestling to hold it 7 times. And I am here today to say that this, what is talking to you right now, there's nothing plastic about him. Now, up in the New York area, they're used to a lot of camouflage plastic. They've got people running around the city calling themselves what they're not. Well, I'm here to tell you and them right now, in order to prove me wrong, get off your backside and hop in the ring with me anywhere around the world. And I'll guarantee you that I'll show you that what I'm saying is absolute truth. In the last few weeks, you've had everyone else on here, and you've talked to everyone else, Gordon. Well, you're talking to the all-time best right now. You've got the Cadillac of the line, or the Rolls Royce, or whatever you want to call it. But I'm here to issue a challenge to any human being walking down the street of New York City or any other part of the great Northeast. Hop your butt in the ring with me and let's see who the best man in professional wrestling is today. Whether it's me, whether it's you. But let's find out. Let's get it out where the people can see it. And I'll prove to you that all you have seen for years is total plastic, buddy. Total plastic.
Number 3, NWA champion, legit tough guy, in and out of the ring, Harley Race, man.
But back in the day that Harley Race was a long-serving NWA champion, if you were even considered to have that title put on you, you had to be a badass.
And Harley was a tough, really a tough kind of guy too. Didn't have the formal training as far as amateur wrestling is concerned, but he was the kind of guy, to me anyway, that didn't care who the hell you were. If you had a gun, he'd probably just tell you to shove it up your ass and go on about his business and not think another thing of it.
You were sent from territory to territory where the young up-and-comer regionally could try to go into business for himself, double-cross you, and try to win the title in front of his hometown audience.
Yep.
So you had to be, in Ron Simmons' parlance, unfuckwithable.
I had a like you carrying my bag.
While we was doing this list, a lot of people sit in Briscoe, a lot of people sit in Funk. They sit in some NWA champions because I think there's some of our more truer fans that grew up watching the NWA and knew what a legitimate tough guy Harley was.
What Harley is he's a student of hard knocks. Harley Race's legacy: the world's fastest beer drinker, world's fastest car driver, world's greatest everything. And I'll tell you what, I think he is.
You had to be a tough guy in the ring to take care of business and also protect that belt in the ring and outside of the business. You don't want someone off the street saying, yeah, I could beat your, heavyweight champion. A lot of people could, because Harley was a man's man. I've heard stories. I've met him a few times, but he's another one when we talk about that tendon and ligament strength. I heard that he had this unbelievable tendon and ligament strength, and I asked him about it once. I saw him at a show in Cleveland. Bill Kazmaier won the World's Strongest Man several times in the late 70s, early 80s, and he come to the WCW there wrestling. He was always talking about his grip strength, and finally, I guess they passed each other in an airport, and Harley said, hey, I'm right here. And they did the finger lock thing where you put your hands up and I guess he took him down, Big Bill Kazmaier, who is huge. I guess he just twisted his wrist and took him straight down to his knees to where he was begging off. And Harley was the kind of guy that would smoke a cigarette and drink a beer. And I won't mention this guy's name. I mentioned Kazmaier because he didn't have such a good career in wrestling, and he wasn't really known as a wrestler, but he just put him to his knees, showing him what kind of fucking strength he had.
One of the toughest guys to ever lace up a pair of boots.
Harley commanded a lot of respect and got it.
Over in Puerto Rico, when Harley would come in, and this again goes with one of those stories. I heard it up in Canada, I heard it in Florida, and I heard it when I got to WCW. And that's one of those stories where when you hear something enough about a guy, you know, this must be fucking for real. But one of the guys at Smoky Mountain told me that it was over in Puerto Rico, man, and Harley would be sitting at the table and have his arm up. He'd go arm wrestle someone. He'd have a can of beer sitting there and maybe a cigarette, and they'd go up to arm wrestle him, and he'd just fucking take them down like it's nothing because that grip strength. He'd be crushing their fucking wrist. And, you know, he'd reach over, maybe take a puff of cigarette, and I'm not advocating that, I'm just saying.
I enjoyed driving to start with. I finished wrestling. I loved to have a couple of beers to put that sweat back in the body again. And I like to smoke. So I just put them all together and got behind the wheel, and away we went.
But he was also known as a policeman in several territories. You know, he carried a fucking a stinger, we call him a taser, around too. So, you know, he didn't want to be fucked with, and I don't think too many people tried to fuck with him. I'll say that. But he's a legitimate tough guy, and that's why he's number 3.
And then Harley saw me backstage with a scoop shovel, steel scoop shovel. And I don't know about Pablo, but we never learned how to use a steel scoop shovel. Like, Dominic DeNucci never sat us down and said, today, my boy, hand us a shovel. So I was trying to think of how I could use this shovel without really doing great damage to Vader. And I was like, up back, I had like a wall, because I wanted to make sure it was flat. I was like this, and okay. And then Harley looks at me, and he taps me on the shoulder, and he goes, if you don't hit him, when I get back here, I'm going to hit you. First of all, I couldn't let Harley race down. Second of all, he would beat the crap out of me.
Guys like Harley Race, they're that old man strong. They're the kind of guy that they ride a train to work, and the train breaks down, they get out and push the train the rest of the way.
Harley's a tough man. And they recently said that he fell, broke both legs, and broke one of his ankles. And somebody said he'd probably never walk again. He was in a wheelchair for a while, and then he was up before anybody knew it. He is one of the toughest guys that I've ever met in my life.
Man, that's pretty damn tough. And he's number 3 on our list, man.
You're looking, talking, and listening to the greatest wrestler on the face of God's green earth, whether it's now, before, or after. It's me.
Order Pin Me, Pay Me, Have Boots Will Travel by professional wrestler Bobby Blaze Smedley. Go to Amazon.com and get your copy now. It's a powerful and insightful 5-star memoir available to download or in paperback print edition.